the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria had a meeting with President Tinubu last week. The top echelon of the Catholic priests in Nigeria. They had a meeting with the president at the presidential villa. And in that meeting, the president made certain, of course, they presented to him that the nation is bleeding. You know, the leader who spoke, you know, I iterated, number one, the nation is bleeding. The non-neutrality of INEC, the Electoral Commission, in their own views, and then also that there is massive hunger in the land, that people are hungry as a result of the policy choices of the administration. Now, and I think they tried to appeal to the conscience of Mr. President. But then the president retorted in his own remarks, number one, that, politics, all is fair in politics. That was very shocking to most Nigerians, including myself. Number two, that hunger has been with us even since before he was born, and that in any case, it is the job of the priest, you know, because people are hungry and whatever. Their flock, they are parishioners of the priest, that they should feed them, you know. And then he said he's not going to give you guys in opposition. He's not going to give you any red carpets. That you guys are going to wrestle each other, you know, to the ground and all of those. How do you respond to this? That this was the president of Nigeria, a sort of father of the nation, saying this. How do you respond?
I'm sure you must have been aware that Cardinal Onaiyekan is a man with classical intelligence. A man who, in his secondary school level, became the best student in the whole northern region. And I heard that Ahmadu Bello came with a delegation to him, sent a delegation to him to give him scholarship for making them proud, and he chose to be a priest. So what do you expect when you have an interaction between a genius and a mediocre? You have your mediocre president whose certificates are questioned, who has this primitive mentality of accumulation of wealth. And you have the other one, a genius, who has decided he has no business with earthly things. Not married, but being one of the best-looking people of his time. No children, because he wants to serve God and humanity. And they went to the president. They told the president, we are not politicians. We have not come here to seek for personal wealth or oil wells. We are simply not seeking, we're not seeking for your job or any politician's job. We are here on behalf of those people who will not have the privilege to have meeting with the president, the voice of the voiceless. We are here because we are not getting as we ought to get in Nigeria. We are not getting what we deserve to get in Nigeria. We are here to plead with you. They went for 3 reasons: the political climate, the insecurity, and the economy. And they told the president, a lot of people are painting rosy picture for you, but we're here to bring the reality of the situation to you. Nigeria is bleeding. And to corroborate this, every day in Nigeria, people are massacred. As I talked to you, the news I heard this morning was that in Sokoto, terrorists sacked one village, and some of them ran into the sea and were drowned because they were hopeless.
Villagers,
Sokoto. I heard it this morning in the news. It happened on Monday. Because I said insecurity in Tinubu's regime is a daily occurrence. You know what happened in Benue? I saw it in the news yesterday. 4 people were killed by armed herders. The same around Nigeria. It was Benue governor earlier that said one time, Benue is bleeding. So in terms of insecurity, these men of God are saying what is already there, but for which they believe that the people around the president are painting rosy picture. And you could see that the people around him are really painting rosy picture because they say he did not believe. In the area of economy, they say, Mr. President, our economy is not helping the poor people. And the president, I have not seen such a ridiculous answer. And since he was born, there was hunger. Mr. President, it's not the Nigeria that I live that you're talking about. When I was born, my grandmother in the village begs people to come and eat in her house. Food was so surplus. And I'm talking about my grandmother. I'm not talking about my father. Forget it. That one is that everybody in the street that is poor is being fed. So I don't know the Nigeria he's talking about. But I'm sorry he did not present the facts honestly. And that was what the cardinals were saying. The economy is bringing poverty. By World Bank standard, they say 7 million persons are going into poverty every year. And you know, when it comes to multidimensional poverty, you're talking about 180 million or thereabout. Everybody is almost poor. Now, they talked about political climate. What did they say? They said they discovered that there is a creeping danger into our democracy, that we're moving into a one-party state. And they asked the president, please, can you please provide level playing field where the rules will be fair to all? This was all they asked. And the president said, practically, in my own opinion, he said no. And that was what the cardinal said. The cardinal said that from what he gathered, the president and his party wants to win by all means. Meaning practically he said no, that he will not provide level playing field. And he said, and they really are deploying all the means to win at all cost. And he warned that if its path is followed, it will lead to difficulties. And then the president actually corroborated when he said, all is fair in politics. Meaning, whether I win or not. And he actually used the word wrestle. Wrestle is to fight. Now, let me tell you the danger in that wrestle. And I'm sorry to say this. I'm trying to see a more civil word, but it's like I can't find the ignorance in that word wrestle. With respect, you only wrestle with your fellow candidates where there is no free and fair election. Democracy is not built for the candidates to wrestle against each other. Democracy is built for the candidates to relate with the electorates, present their programs to the electorate, and the electorate will choose. In some instances, the candidates may not even know each other, may not have met each other. Kamala Harris said she has never met if I remember, that she has never met Donald Trump one-on-one until the day they went for debate. So, there is no basis for wrestling between candidates. You go to the electorate, you provide your programs, convince them, and they vote for you. And an independent body will announce the winners. Simple. So a president coming out to tell you that he will wrestle them to the ground confirms actually what the cardinal is saying. But I have one news for President Tinubu. You're going to wrestle against Nigerian people. And from where I come from, when a man wrestles with the people will certainly defeat him. Nigerian people that you're wrestling with will defeat you in 2027 and then throne a government that will begin to rebuild the country that you have destroyed. So the cardinal came out smelling like roses. I do not even understand the reason for the insult against the Catholic bishops. And let me tell you why I'm taking it personally. I was born into a Catholic home. As a matter of fact, if you ask my mother today, oh, God bless you, gave you all these children. He said, mba, oh, Mary. In other words, that we are children of Virgin Mary. Mary. So, for one Mary, for you to insult Catholic bishops tells you the level we've gone into. Let me tell you, I was a mass servant, just altar boy, when I was young, and I served even the bishop. And when I see men that have given all, no wife, no children, giving all for the service of humanity, and you are insulting them, saying they are political, when they came out to say, we are not politicians, we don't have any ambition. When you insult them, you have insulted God. And it's unfortunate because Christians are complicit in this insult. Because some of them will still go and vote for Tinubu.
Well, everybody has a right on who to vote.
No, can you imagine if you insult some of the religious leaders of other faiths, it might lead to jungle justice of your being burnt alive.
Very true. But I also want you to address the response of the president's media aides, specifically Mr. Daniel Bwala, who, while responding to Cardinal Onaiyekan's interview on Arise Television, said Cardinal Onaiyekan was not speaking for Nigerian Christians, only Catholics. And in fact went ahead, demanded from the Cardinal an apology to President Tinubu. Then another media aide, Tokwe Ajayi, said, summary of what he said was that Cardinal Onaiyekan breached presidential confidentiality. That's the first time I was hearing of that. So how do you respond to this?
I wouldn't have, let me take it that you asked question, not that you mentioned those names, because I don't understand the quality of their reasoning. I'm telling you honestly, I'm sorry. Confidential, something that was recorded. Confidential, something that was open. We saw the address by the Cardinal, the president of the Catholic bishops. It was recorded. We saw their interaction. So what was confidential in it? It was the State House that broadcasted what Tinubu said. It was not the video from the cardinals. When we heard all is fair in politics, what was confidential in it? What Cardinal Onaiyekan was saying reflected exactly what was published by the State House media. So what was confidential in it? Nothing. So that's why I said, I don't want to respond to self-explanatory evidence that is self-explanatory. Now, when you talked about, the other person, like I said, I think I've answered it. Because when he says, the cardinal himself said, we are not here as politicians. We are not looking for Tinubu's job or any politician's job. The cardinal cannot even be a pope now because he's more than 80. So on what basis will he be political? The cardinal stood against Jonathan when he felt something was wrong. He stood against all other presidents. Buhari, he stood against them. So was he the one who said all is fair in politics? Was he the one who said we will wrestle? They went there to talk for the poor, those who do not have voice. So what was political in it? Did you see him endorse any political candidate? The cardinal said, we the bishop, we are human. We have our own political differences. But when it comes to our existential existence, this is his word. When it comes to the lives of our people, the things that matter, we are united. And that was what took them to the president. So what was political about the economy, the insecurity, and the political climate? Ensure free and fair and credible election. What was political about it? We're talking about the survival of a country, survival of a nation, Because a nation stands on a tripod. If you want to be a superpower nation, political stability, economic viability, and a strong military force. And the cardinals were simply talking about how to move Nigeria in this direction. And you, I'm sorry, I don't know how to talk without using certain words, but this is a display of unintelligence and being very unreasonable. You don't play policy with everything. I'm Pentecostal now. Anytime I see a reverend father, if I go home, they know how much I revere them. Even if, for the fact that they agreed to live a life of poverty, that others may be wealthy. Look at a president telling men who have given all that they should go and feed the poor. They should go and do this. Please, let me ask, is there any budgetary allocation to them to feed the poor? Is there any? They are making their own sacrifice in order that any money that they are giving, they use it for others. And the president is saying they should go and feed the poor. And the president that is sitting on trillions, which he borrows us, he has borrowed us into bondage. He cannot feed the poor. And men who have given their life to serve, the president is telling them to go and do his job. Sorry, Mr. President, you have failed. You should apologize to Cardinal Onaiyekan and anybody who is of any conscience that votes for this president. You have insulted Cardinal Onaiyekan, because what you're saying is that such insults should be perpetuated. That's what you're saying.